What would you do if you knew you were about to walk through the worst suffering humanly possible? This week, we're walking through Jesus' final days before the cross, and today is one of my favorite, but also probably the most challenging stories. We're looking at Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, and if you're unfamiliar with it, it was Jesus' last moment, really, before he was arrested. He knew things were escalating, so he and his disciples went away to their usual spot on the Mount of Olives, and while he was there, Jesus got away by himself to pray. And this is what he prayed. Father, if you are willing, please take this cup of suffering away from me. Yet, I want your will to be done, not mine. I don't think that verse alone accurately demonstrates the agony that I'm sure Jesus was feeling in that moment. I mean, take this. He was fully God, so he knew everything that was going to happen to him. And he was fully human, so he felt the weight of human emotions. Fear, grief, sadness, frustration. It actually says a few verses later that Jesus was in such agony that his sweat fell to the ground like drops of blood. And yet, he was somehow able to say that final statement and end his prayer with "not your will, but mine." Jesus perfectly modeled what it's like to walk through and surrender in suffering well. I think Christian culture sometimes makes us feel like we have to hide our suffering or our emotions, like we can't acknowledge anything that's going wrong. But Jesus didn't do that. He didn't hide his feelings. He didn't hide away from asking God to change his circumstances because he knew that God wants all of our hearts, the good, the bad, the ugly. He wants the joy and the grief. And Jesus also knew that God's way was ultimately best, even if that didn't result in a change in his circumstances. And that's what gave him the strength and resolve to make that final statement. I love this verse. And in my own moments of suffering, it's one of the hardest for me to follow Jesus' example. Because I don't want to suffer. I mean, you probably don't want to suffer either. And in those moments, it feels like our suffering can blind us to the reality that God is working beyond anything we can see. The good news is, we don't have to muster up the strength to be like Jesus on our own. We have Jesus, relationship with him, to help us be like him. So if you're holding on to something or walking through a season of suffering, ask Jesus to help you surrender well. You can ask him to help you with this on a daily basis.